All right, we're live. Joe, thank you for being here.
And Alyssa, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Why don't you first tell us, where are you?
I am out in Ireland at the moment. Been back out here for the last about 5, 6 years, planning to go back over to Canada,
Oh, wow.
hopefully before the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
How cool.
Man of the world. Nice.
So they say.
Yeah. So we'll take it from the beginning and then come all the way up to now in your coaching career. I mean, how'd you get into fitness in the first place? Like even before you became a trainer? I want to kind of know how that went.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like growing up, I was always the injured kid. Ankle, knee, hip,
Really?
shoulder, you name it, it hurt at some point. Didn't really start training properly until about 17, 18, but I played football most of my life.
So is that like
Yeah,
what
soccer.
Americans call soccer? Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just tracking.
Okay. I went to college at 19 and just fell off. Stopped training, didn't really care about my nutrition. Did that for 4 years, got my degree in financial math, finished college, and was like, I never want to look at another equation again. Like, this is just not something that I can see myself doing long term. So me, a group of friends from college, all packed up and flew over to Canada on a 2-year visa. So
Wow.
lived out there where I met my current girlfriend now,
Amazing.
but kind of continued on how things were in college. Wasn't training, was letting the weight pile on. And then I was trying to extend my visa so we could stay out a bit longer. I'd met my girlfriend, like I said, and the shutdowns happened.
Oh,
Visa
wow.
couldn't get extended, had to come back home.
Yikes.
Walked back into my home house, into the same rooms that I grew up in, saw myself 15, 20 kgs heavier than when I had left in all the wrong ways, and it was just like, how have I let this happen? Like, how have I let myself get to this stage? So, got onto my friend who I knew was a trainer, got him to send me out a plan, got a couple adjustable dumbbells, and was just working out in the room, trying to figure out my own way and what I was doing. While I was
Nice.
doing this, I started a course in nutrition because I wanted to understand, like, well, why am I eating what I'm eating? Why does it matter how I do this? Got my nutrition course done, and then was like, well, the next logical step is, why am I moving like I'm moving? Like, I'm getting this plan, but I want to know why. How do I put these exercises together? How do I make it mean something? Got my cert as a gym instructor, then a personal trainer,
Wow.
and all this time, I was still getting hurt all the time. Like, I'd play football, I'd roll my ankle, I'll be out for a month. My shoulder never seemed to fix itself. But it went on that way for a while. And I kind of commandeered my grandparents' garage at the time, put some mats down, put a rig up, got a barbell, some weights, dumbbells, a pretty solid home gym, like.
Nice.
And I had my certs, I had this nutrition course done. I was like, maybe I can start training some people now. Like, nowhere's open, no one can go anywhere anyway. So I live in a housing estate here with about 60, 70 houses. Put some flyers together and just went door to door and was like, hey,
That's my style.
I'm
That's awesome.
new to this. I haven't been doing it for a long time. I'm not going to charge a lot of money, but I got a place where you could work out if you want to come. And made it through about 15, 20 houses, and I had 5 people sign up. And that was like
So
10,
cool.
12 hours done. Like, that was like, oh,
Amazing.
yeah, it's real now. Like, this is actually
This is,
something that might actually happen.
This is a huge tip, though, to stop you here. So, for coaches who are listening, tell me about the flyers. Like, what did you put on these things? Did you go put them in the mailbox? What did you do?
Yeah, so on the flyers, it was basically just a picture of me, services I offered, and like a picture of me working out, me training. At that time, I trained my mom a little bit, and put some pictures on a flyer. And I literally went door to door and was like, hey, my name's Joe. I live at number
Wow.
37. Because I always felt like if I go to them and I say, hey, I'm from just around the corner, it means a bit more than just being like, hey, look at this flyer. Do you want to come train with me? So made it to a few
I'm
people.
so
and-
impressed, but
yeah.
I also love that he was so honest about it. You literally said, like, I'm new to this. I'm not charging a lot. Nothing's open. Like, come,
There's
like,
really
you got nothing
something-
to lose. Come try
there's-
with me.
Yeah, like there's no absolutes, but there's really something to this garage gym concept. For me, it made it very easy with the same style to start training people around here, people we knew,
that's true.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is a fantastic tip for someone. Set up some sort of small space, go
Small,
around in your
inexpensive,
area,
Yeah.
get a few clients. Okay, so continue the story now.
Yeah, so I got a few names, was training people, still always injured. And then I came across a video on YouTube of yourself, Ben, doing a reverse Nordic. And I was just like, get out of here. There's no way. Like, I could never do that. It's just not going to happen. Then in the video, you started talking a bit more about your story, how you were injured, you had these knee problems, you built yourself up to this level. So, that kind of sounds a bit like me. Like, it kind of sounds a bit like the issues I've been working out. I've got all these certs, but I'm doing everything by the book. Like, I'm doing everything that they say do. I'm working on stretching. I'm doing my squats. I'm doing my shoulder presses, but I still have pain. And then I got just the Zero program. Started working on that for 2-3 weeks. And already I was like, okay, knees feel a little smoother. Ankles haven't rolled in the last few weeks playing football, that was unheard of. I was like, okay, let's do more. Let's get more. That's when I signed up for ATG online coaching and just worked on a plan on there. That was still when it was True Coach before I had the app. Was just following plans on that. And in the first month, I was like, I'm healed. It's not obviously not completely healed because you're going to have something lingering until it's gone. But from always having something every other day to I can't remember the last time something was hurting. Like, that's such a large gap. And in my mind, 6 weeks, that was crazy. So I went straight from, you need to teach people this. I'm training people in the gym. Mm-hmm. I'm going off all this stuff that I've been doing for a while now, which didn't seem to... I felt strong. I was healthy. I was in the best shape of my life, but I was still injured. So went to ATG online coaching. That was about 3.5 or so years ago, and here we are today.
Wow,
that is so cool. So cool.
Epic story.
Yeah,
it's for all the rough aspects of social media. It's cool how, like, a lot of us weirdos have connected somehow, like, all over the world. And I think it's really just the beginning, because at the beginning, it was like, okay, how do we help someone with a program with no equipment somewhere out there, to then, like, okay, how do we help coaches get better? But, like, it's so early. Like, there's so much more we can do for coaches that we're, like, not even there yet. So now it's like, the concept of ATG is really just balance. It's not about just backward sled, backward, forward, high positions, low. Like, when in doubt, the whole idea is just balance. And it's the same with ATG. So it grew so much, like, on social media so fast, but really the in-person stuff is where we actually have, like, a long ways to go. So I'd love to talk about your goals for the future, see if we have any insights, see if you have insights for other coaches. What do your plans look like for the future?
So, like I said, me and the girlfriend, we're kind of in a period now where we're trying to get back over to Canada and figure out, like, where it is we want to be. Do we want to set down roots over there? Do we want to stay over here? But we have no idea yet. So
We've been
over
there.
the last 2.5 years, I've been kind of going online a little bit more. Have an Instagram page out that I was just kind of DMing people, trying to get some online clients, so that when we finally make that transition from going over here to there, I can go over there and I'm not instantly like, I need to find a gym, I need to get some in-person clients. Like, we can find somewhere, we can rent it out, I can have a solid backing with some online clients, and then we can kind of see where we go from there.
Yep.
So long term, right now, the look is figure out where we want to be, build that solid kind of core of people online that are going to come back. They can be like on a minimum plan, but just people there that I've been with for a long time. Like all the people that are here I'm working with now, they were like, "You're leaving us soon. How can you do this to us all?" I was like, "We'll try and see how online works. Obviously, it's not for everyone,
Yeah.
but the more
Can I make
people
a
like you can get to
recommendation there?
online, it's less time for us."
So I was going to say, if there are people that you are really worried about online, I mean, my mom would not want to do videos and things like that. I just know. You could look at the idea of almost replacing yourself there. So hiring someone, but then you would take a cut from them. So like this person is almost going to take over your business, and you are going to train them and you are going to talk to them personally about every single one of your clients. So they're not just walking in, and you could be doing this over the next 6 months before you transition out of there, so that these people don't just all of a sudden you're out of there. You got your online coaching. Maybe they don't love it. And now all of a sudden you don't see them or get their money, and they fail because they want that coaching. So I always like don't disconnect from those people, and help also supply and fill the void. If you do really want to go to Canada, go for it. But just see if you can take care of them in a way that takes care of them, but you still get some monetary gain from it. Also, that would help where you're going to Canada, then you got something coming in too, that that you really, did a good job transitioning it.
Completely, yeah. I was thinking about something very similar only a couple of weeks ago, and all the thoughts going through my head were, okay, well, if we're going to do that, I'm going to have to get someone in soon that I can train up to a level where when I pass someone over, they're actually going to understand where they're at. Because, like, ATG, yeah, it's training and it's working out, but there's different styles and techniques that people do that it's getting a lot more popularized now. But you get someone into the gym there and you get them to try and do a split squat, and it's like, what does that mean? What does that look like? I know this is a split squat, which is like some kind of version of a lunge, but trying to bring someone in is going to have to be coach them up for months. It's not as simple as just we transfer them over. I completely understand.
Totally. No, they have to intern with you. They should be there with you, next to you, doing the sessions with you for some months, so that all of a sudden when you really do leave. But I think the cool thing about that is even if you don't want to stay in Canada, what you could do then is if you came back to Ireland, you'd have a partnership where you just keep growing that client base. So I feel like you kind of have the best of both worlds, where you just don't lose,
Yeah.
She's definitely a smart lady on that.
Yeah.
And
this is where the brains come from.
And we've been through, like, we've made right moves, we've made wrong moves. We were just a gym, not online. Now for many years, we've only been online. The sweet spot was actually like the intersection of the two. I feel like that was the best life quality. I feel like in the modern age, I do think any coach should be exploring that. You build up confidence through training actual people. But then I think you should be like, I regret that we're like, oh, we're going to switch from in-person to online. No, we should have actually like kept the online going very well. We totally could have. We had a great gym. We could have had other people running the gym, even if we moved around.
Basically, like, that's what we did. So we left. We shut the gym down. So basically, it would be exactly your same story. Sorry to cut you off, though.
Yeah.
But like we were like, bye. I was pregnant. We went to California, and we shut the gym down and lost all the clients. And that was fine. We did our online. I had the baby. We had another baby. We will put a gym again so that people can come back. But it wasn't the smartest move. We had people working for us. They could have kept the gym and the doors open, and we could have still done the exact same thing. But we didn't. And we don't fully regret. I don't think once we have our new ideal gym, I think it will still have been the right path. And Ben may say differently, but maybe not. It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say because it could have been amazing.
Was in the gym, sledding, fit.
Yeah.
And by us shutting that gym down,
that's true.
It wasn't until years later we're like, oh my gosh, like for certain people,
Yes.
they need the trainer.
Yep.
They need the accountability.
Yep.
And your mom
Yeah.
would be way healthier right now
100%.
had we kept the gym going.
That's right.
Now, in her case, would she have even kept showing up if we weren't there? I don't know. But the
Yeah.
point is, there's
Right,
like,
probably not.
if other trainers were there, she might not have showed up. But honestly,
Yeah.
maybe when her health started to go down, she would have been like, all right, let me get back in the gym, even
exactly.
if you guys aren't. So it's like ATG itself. It's the balance.
Mm-hmm.
So now, it's not an absolute thing, meaning depending on where you are in your journey,
Yeah.
maybe it's more or less realistic. But I do think like your long-term vision should be the balance of the in-person and the online. It's maybe worth considering for your existing clientele. Maybe you have a young client who would want to train some of the people intern under you. Maybe you can approach each client.
That's right.
Okay, I'm going to be moving. Do you want to keep working out with me online, or do you want to train with this other person? Then they can kind of like
Yeah.
take their pick.
Right.
These are just ideas, but I think what we're getting to that is a really core belief we have is that, yeah, the lifestyle is going to be better with a balance. And we shouldn't have shut our gym down.
Yep.
We should have had other people manage it, keep it alive.
Yeah.
Now, for someone who's like confused because they're looking at a gym behind us,
Correct.
this is a studio gym that we're like the zoning, we can't train people. Like it's not like we can't have classes here and stuff.
We can't have anybody basically come pay to have a gym here. It's not a public gym.
Yeah, there's another gym like next door that's like a 24-hour fitness type gym.
Yeah, it's been
So-
there for like 15, 20 years. And so when we originally came here, we were just going to make it a filming studio. So that's why we got the lease, and it was totally fine to be a gym next to a gym.
Yeah.
But to actually have the doors open, we wouldn't be able to do that. We are going to build our own gym so that we can have that again, because also being back here, there are so many people that rave about our old gym that
Who
they
we let
loved.
down.
Who we let down, yeah. That
Yeah.
they want that again badly. They're like, I kind of stopped going.
Yeah. So late last year, we bought some land nearby, and now we're going through all these. You have to go through all these, city stuff and approvals and whatever, and we're chipping away at all that stuff. And so like this year, 2025, it'll either be built or it'll be midway building, or so we're building. So through our experience, we're like, man, the sweet spot was having in person and online.
Yeah.
So we're building a gym again ourselves. But for you, again, it's like general advice that even if you don't pursue that route now, just to know that long term, I do think you'll be happiest, like with your long term goals, that you're setting up, a real gym and your online coaching. I feel like sweet spot.
Yeah, completely. Like I was so lucky in the chance that I was able to work out of my grandparents' garage that's 3 doors up the road, and with a housing estate with a load of people that were willing to come and work out, and like not many, if any, PTs are going to get that opportunity like straight out the window.
Yeah.
So completely the idea is having my own place down the line that you can see those people in person, you can bring in more people, teach them how to train all those clients, and then still be able to go online and reach those people on the other side of the world that just, it's not logical for you to go see them in person, but you've been talking to each other online, they've told you they have an issue, like you want to be able to help them.
Yep. And for someone listening to this, good in-person results drive demand online, even if you don't have a social media. Meaning we were driving in-person results that people are saying, oh, I'm going to be moving, I want to keep training with you. My cousin wants to train with you. So you're in person. You don't have to jump online. I think people should focus on getting in-person results for the confidence, getting word of mouth going. Then you'll kind of know even how you want to operate online. So yeah, in-person results will drive demand. And maybe for the coach out there who's like, I'm a lone wolf, I don't have, family that I can live nearby with my community. Like we grew up mostly in this community, so it was natural for us to get started in the way that you did. For someone who's more of a lone wolf, hey, ATG's growing. There
Yeah.
might be a gym that you can go intern at, that
Yeah.
you can go, like even around here, there's gyms now that have all the ATG stuff.
Yep.
And people move around here. Coaches come hang out, work out here, but they work like as personal trainers at other gyms around here. And we're building our own. So like this will be a place that a coach can like get clients. And so that I think the long term, you know what you're doing. You know how you're going to be able to make a gym in the future. So for someone who's more of a lone wolf, find the person like you who has a space.
Yeah.
Like okay, wild thing, but what if a coach listening to this is like,
Yeah.
hey, I live a couple hours away. I'll go move, intern under you, keep your clients going, get experience, build a gym where you are. Like I'm saying, it's possible. It's possible that there's a coach listening to this who's like, wait, this guy has clients.
Yep.
This guy Joe has clients, and Joe's moving to Canada. And
I'll swap with you.
I'm
from Canada, and I'll go to Ireland.
Right. So it's like there's no absolutes, and everyone has more or less difficult situations, but like there's usually some way to make it go right. But I love if you did grow up in a community and you treated the people around there semi-decently, you can probably go back and start building up some experience in that area. Mm-hmm. So let's say hypothetically, because your girlfriend, she's from Canada?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say hypothetically you set up there and you want to make a gym. In your current space, let's go over some of the equipment. Like, how are you getting, because you probably don't have a huge space, or where, like, because these are things that the coach starting out in the garage is like, what, do I use a sled on the street? Do I like, what, like, so why don't you break down for us your current equipment, but with some context of like, would you do anything different if you had more space or?
Yeah. So when I started, it was basically just bare minimum. Get a bench in, a barbell, a rig, some plates, and some adjustable dumbbells. So that way you can cover most of the things you need to cover. Then you start to get the more specialized equipment. Like, I didn't really have anywhere in the shed to get a sled. So I just got like a metal sled online, screwed 2 wooden battens into the bottom of it, and would just go up and down the street here on the road. And
this is
when
very
the wood
interesting.
would wear down, you'd get more wood, put it on the bottom again.
Wow. See, like that's
so
like
cool. That's gold for somebody.
Yeah, I never would have thought of that. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Well, after the podcast, send me a picture of that or a video.
Will do.
Brilliant.
Then from the sled, I got a back extension because I had no real way to get into those ranges. Yeah, you got your RDLs, but sometimes you need a little bit different of an angle to hit what you need to be hitting. Yeah. Back extension gives you so much of that, especially if you want to throw in your QL raises on the side of that. Perfect place to do them.
Yep, relatively affordable. You can pick it up. It's not like some behemoth of a machine.
Exactly. And I also got then a Nordic attachment that you would put onto the rig. So it's like you put it on, screw it on,
smart,
bring the bench up to it or do it from the floor. The problem was with the rig I had, it wasn't really, it's not bolted into anything. So if I'm 90 plus kg at this stage doing Nordic curls, I'm lifting that rig up unless I'm loading plate after plate after plate on it. And then I was like, I need to get a proper Nordic bench, something that I can just wheel out, put on the floor, get them done properly, don't have all this set up. Boom.
Yep.
And that's just when Freak Athlete, who a couple of lads that came through ATG as well, they brought out that Nordic bench. It was like, perfect. Now we got a good setup here. And from that, you're going to hit most things you need to hit. You can like specialize in different areas, but sled, rig, plates, bench, back extension, even a Nordic machine, Nordic bench. You're pretty cool there.
Yeah. Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we did it. Like, that's what we gravitated to. And even with running, Alyssa and I were coaching classes together, running 10 plus people through at a time. So we had like 3 Nordic benches, 3 back extensions, 3 sleds. Now, we wouldn't necessarily do the back extensions and the Nordics in the same session, but the point was like by having 3 of those things, these really, we could wheel them out. We could we'd set up like the class flow like that.
Yep.
As long as you've got something to elevate the heel, some sort of, whether it's a slant or a ramp or like I always thought like sled slant back extension. And when I say slant, you could be talking about a full slant board or like a squat ramp or just anything to elevate the heels. Because for the average person getting into any kind of squatting, they'll use a little heel elevation. Sled slant back extension, like you can get a lot going. Then for the more athletic progression, like you said, throw in a Nordic, have your free weights. So it's pretty cool for a coach out there that's setting up an ATG gym, way different than like trying to set up a commercial gym where
it's
oh
like
my
doable.
gosh.
It's affordable. compact. You can move them. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
But I also feel like
Actually-
before ATG, like a few years ago, these things weren't that way. Like you couldn't just easily get these things.
They definitely weren't common.
Right.
What were you going to say?
Yeah. No, I literally in the early days, I remember building like a slant board out of a few pieces of wood and just like screwing
Smart.
it in, and same with like a little step up board that had a couple of levels. Just wood I found out in the back, cut it up, put it together. Just, you couldn't really find the things that I was looking for online, but now they're everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's becoming an easier time for a coach to get started. All right. We're doing good on time. So is there anything that comes to mind that we haven't covered yet that you would tell a coach starting out that, or, any kind of insights that we haven't covered so far?
Yeah, so when it comes to like coaching in person or starting out, like the most daunting thing for me was like how is anyone ever going to trust me? How is anyone going to come to me and start actually coaching? Start with people that you know. Don't charge them much, if charge them anything at all. Like if you could get your mother, your father, your sister in a gym, they're not going to trust you in the early days. Like they know you their whole life. They know you like you know you, and you don't think you know what you're doing yet when you're starting off. You just don't. But it's not until you get those first couple people in the door, you start actually working with them. They're coming back week after week, and they turn to you, and they're like, "Hey, look at this! Have you seen this? Or watch me do this?" And you're like, "Oh, maybe I do know something." So you just need to get the reps in.
Yeah.
Reps is going to make you better at it. And then you're going to eventually get someone in. Like I had someone that got onto me online, and we were just messaging back and forth, and he told me how he had some sort of issue with his hip that his physio from his club told him he had to go get surgery for. He was like, that's just what it is. That's what we got to do. And he was talking to me and mentioned that there was also 3 other guys on his team over the last year or so that also had to go and get this exact surgery for this obscure thing going on in your hip. I was like, it just doesn't sound right. And he was like, I want to exhaust all options. I was like, completely. Let's go. Come down. Let me see you. Let's try working on something and see what we could do. And came in at, like most people that are going to come into you, just stiff, can't move, can't touch the toes, can't spread his legs apart. And he was telling me how he could play maybe 20 minutes of a game and then he's done. He can't get out of bed in the morning. His legs are too sore. There's all of this stuff going on with him. It's like, okay, this was one of the worst cases that I had come up to in this point. And I was like, right, okay, like I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing here. Like, I've had bad hips, but never to this extent. But I know the system. I've heard the stories. I've talked to other people in the Pulse chat about other people that have had these kind of problems. And we started working with each other. A month in, he started seeing some results. He was like, I don't know what's going on here, Joe, but I just played a full training session there. I'm up out of bed this morning and I'm feeling good. I don't have that pain anymore. I'm like, okay, good. Let's keep going through this. I worked with him for about 8-9 weeks in his off season. And then in the next season, he became their starter every week, and they won the championship that year.
Wow.
It was just like,
Wow.
from
Priceless.
struggling to play more than 20 minutes to getting those kind of results. Then you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Like, I've got this down, and I know how to work with these people. And you're not going to get that by just sitting there and being like, where do I start? How to just find anyone that's going to listen to you and just get in front of them.
You went from your family to your neighborhood to then making this priceless result for someone out there that his local options weren't going to deliver what you were going to deliver.
Yeah.
All right. This is incredible. You're incredibly well spoken.
Yeah.
So this just gave anyone listening so much good stuff to work with. I definitely think, like, after talking to you, I would say, okay, you need, like, long term, you totally got what it takes mentally, super sharp, super well spoken. Keep at it. Keep us personally posted.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know if there's just ways we can help out along the journey. I do think the future is the ATG community, us, you, all of us working together, getting that that balance out there in the world where we're not just catchy social media videos, but
Right.
we're like really balanced. You know, we're like probably like here right now between how many people have seen like a social media video versus how many actual like coaches and gyms are out there helping people in real
Completely.
life. So that's the big push for us. So just never hesitate to reach out to us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. And look, thanks for having me on here today. Really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.